YouTube. Yeah, I decided to tap in today because I'm gonna probably be busy tomorrow and Sunday. I got a couple of trees I have to knock out. So I thought, what better time than now to tap into YouTube? Told you guys yesterday I'm back, and I'm gonna try to keep my word on that. Wait for a couple of viewers to come in here before I begin. I'm trying to keep my videos, between 20 and 45 minutes. I'm not trying to do no long, drawn out videos anymore. I know I had an hour and a half videos before, but I'm trying to keep them limited now. Chad Marks from Blood on the Razor Wire TV put me up on that. Told me to keep them under an hour. So I'm definitely trying to keep my videos under an hour. But as you guys know, when I start to talking and I get into it, it's hard to cut off. It's hard to shut it down. But today, I do want to talk about something that's very volatile to people that get cell extracted. I was involved in 3, and I want these youngsters to know that prison ain't all fun and games, man. It's very dangerous when it comes to certain choices you make while you're in prison. Not before you get there. Before you get there too, but when you get there, you have to think very wisely and know what's going on around you. I want to touch bases on the cell extractions I was involved in and the ones I watched from my cell. I watched numerous cell extractions, but I'm going to get into that after I get a few more viewers up here. I'm trying to find the exact dates where I was in the hole with these cell extract. I got all my paperwork from prison, and there's boxes and boxes of it. So I'm trying to go through right now when I was first cell extracted. I believe it was 1990 in DVI. So I'm trying to find that for you guys now. Let me put my comments on so I can see my comments. I'm gonna wait for a few more viewers to come on so I can get into this video that I'm trying to keep down under an hour. That's my goal today, to keep it under an hour. I want to go 45 minutes, but I could probably run into an hour with this topic, this narrative right here. So I've been on 4.5 minutes right now, and I'm trying to find, like I said before, I'm trying to find the exact time that I was in these prisons, in the shoe, or in the hole rather, when I was cell extracted. And I'm going to get into why I was cell extracted and what I was in the hole for. But I want to make sure I got all my time today. So as you guys know, there's a lot of drama on YouTube. In our society, drama sells. And more than one person has asked me, how come I don't do reaction videos on other people's channels when they talk about different channels and they get into conflict with each other. And I just ain't one to really. What's up, Spinal? Yeah, you've been up there. You've been cell extracted, huh? Yeah, man, that's crazy. I've been in 3, but I watched numerous of them, Spinal. But yeah, I want to touch on that. But I was talking about, you know, starting a YouTube channel when you first start out is kind of hard. You got a lot of haters from other YouTube channels. You got a lot of people trying to contradict what you say. A lot of haters, and that's not the reason why I stopped my YouTube channel. But I don't like to do reaction videos, and the reason why I don't like to do reaction videos is because everybody has an opinion on topics and narratives, and I try to stay on here, be on here, and enlighten our youngsters to what happens while we are in prison. And I try to put people on here and interview people that I know are solid, that I know has done a lot of time, and kind of paint a picture of what goes on in California prison systems. Hopefully, it ain't a scare straight program, none of that, but I want these youngsters to know before they do touch the California prison system what they're up against if they do decide to go there. If they do decide to do a crime to end up in California prison system, it's not all roses when you get there. I've had good times in prison. Don't get it twisted. I made a lot of money in prison, but I'm not trying to shine a light on that part of it. I'm trying to show these youngsters the hardships that you go through while you're in prison. And this is one of them. Definitely, this is one of them. Cell extractions is probably, besides Potty Watch was very degrading. If anyone been on Potty Watch, you know that. What's up, Smurf Nacho? West up. When you come into Colorado Springs, so I got a homie out there right now, man, and he's trying to get back to Cali right now, and I don't know when that's going to happen. But if he don't get here by the end of January, I'm definitely coming to Colorado. I got business out there. I'm trying to branch out my tree company to another tree area in Colorado Springs. Definitely got a lot of trees. But like I was saying, to start and maintain a YouTube channel, when you first start out, you got a lot of haters. It's a hard thing to do to start a YouTube channel because, you know, reaction videos are a must. There's a lot of drama with different channels, and I'm not trying to get in that whole mix. I've had 3 channels reach out to me and want me to collaborate with them, and the only channel that I seen that I was willing to put my name on a stamp is Blood on the Razor Wire TV with Chad Marks. You can go back and look at my video with him. I think it has about 11,000 views or something like that. But these other channels have been reaching out to me and want me to collaborate with them. They want me to do reaction videos on the drama, the YouTube drama that's going on. And I really don't want to feed into that because I don't want to get caught in that big old web. I watch other YouTubers. I used to watch Sav Studios a little bit, but you know, it really wasn't my thing. He was really all over the place. Gunner, I started watching Gunner's Collective about 8 months, maybe a year ago, and I thought he was funny. But now I see all the drama that he brings with this channel, and he's fighting with all these other channels, man, and it just ain't in my DNA to do reaction videos like that. I don't want to be caught in that YouTube web, man. I respect all the YouTube channels because I know how hard it is, but a lot of them are more fiction than anything. I mean, they put their own twist on things, and they say, you know, they're trying to. I respect all the YouTube channels, but I really enjoy Dubs, man. And Dubs is one of the realest. Besides Chad Marks, he's one of the realest YouTubers, and you just know listening to someone talk if they're authentic or not. And I could say Dubs is an authentic cat, and I really enjoyed him. and I enjoy his videos. He keeps it to the point. He's heartfelt, uh, and he is trying to make a change. So that's what I'm aimed at. L over at A Prisoner's Awakening. I was in prison with L, so I know L quite well. He was in my building in 3 building in Pleasant Valley, and I know him quite well. Me and him had dillies together, and we had talked about collaborating on his channel and mine, but it just never happened yet. So I'm trying to keep my narratives to my experiences in prison, and I want these young cats to know that, you know, when you go to prison for the first time, man, it's a shock because you don't know what to expect. You hear all these stories, you see all these TV shows, but today I really wanted to touch on something that I think for the first cell extraction I was in was devastating. And I seen cell extractions before from my cell in DVI, and but I never participated. Now you got to understand something. These older prisons, like Old Folsom, San Quentin, DVI, Tracy, Chino, Vacaville, they're all pretty much Soledad. They're all pretty much, besides Folsom and Quentin, they're all pretty much built the same. And in the whole, in DVI, K-Wing, the cells are made up of screen and doors with screen on them, like chicken wire screen, but really, really small chicken wire, and it's real thick. So to board up at DVI is quite exhausting. And I'll get into that in a minute. That was my first cell extraction in 1990. I believe it was September, October of 1990. And I touched on this on another video before, why I was in the hole. And the first time I ever been to the hole in California prison system was at DVI in 1990. And they put me in the hole for assault on a CO Austin. And he was a black dude out of Stockton. And they beat me up. 2 COs beat me up, took me in a classroom. It was a dormitory with bunks in it with nobody in it. It was real dark, and they beat me up. And I guess I elbowed one of them when they was beating me up, and I had to get stitches in my eye. So the sergeant took me to the hole for assault on a CO. And I was only there for, I think, a 2-year sentence with halftime. And I was spooked when I got there. Spinal, I see you've been to Potty Watch. 5 solid poops. And I don't poop but twice a week, maybe. So you could imagine how long I was there. What about that fire extinguisher with the hose pepper spray they put in the crack? I'm gonna get to that kill shot. Yeah, man, I'm gonna get to that. Yeah, it's like a fire extinguisher. They do it. They put it in your vent also. But the first time, hot photos of my sister. What? So, kill shot. Oh no, that ain't kill shot. Who's this? Yeah, kill shot. Check it out. I'm gonna get into it right now. My first cell extraction, it wasn't no mattress at the door. My second and third, there was. So let me back up. I was in YA as an M number in 1989, and I caught an assault with a weapon on a Southsider at DeWitt Nelson. I was in not Modoc. I was in Angeles. No, not Angeles. Not Plumas. I was in Tahoe Dorm in DeWitt Nelson in '89. But I was an adult sentenced there to 2 years with halftime as an adult as an M number, and I only lasted there 8 months. And what happened was I caught a stabbing on a Southsider because I had a North Inyo cousin there, and he was on the lever for not fighting the Southsider. So ultimately, I don't want to get into the details. I caught a stabbing on a Southsider. His last name was Tapia, and he was from I think White Fence, short dude with green eyes. But I ended up at Vacaville in '89, and of course I had to finish out my sentence in state prison now. So they transferred me from Vacaville. I don't want to make it a long, drawn-out story because my dad's girlfriend at the time was a CO there, and I kept calling her first name. She put an over familiarity on me. So, of course, they sent me to Gladiator School. And in 1989 and 1990, that's exactly what Tracy DVI was, Gladiator School. They sent me to the place where they sent all the youngsters that gangbanged. And when I say it was Gladiator School, it was really definitely Gladiator School. I know you guys heard this on other channels about other prisons being Gladiator School, but in 1989, DVI was considered Gladiator School, and they still had red and blue bandanas. That's irrelevant to my story, but I definitely, it was a culture shock when I got there. Never been to prison before, so I felt I had to make a name for myself. So how I ended up in the hole was one of my neighbors, I was on the reception center side, was yelling out his window all night long. And if you guys know at DVI, the windows are all broken out. And so I told him to shut the fuck up. My cellie at the time was White Boy from Compton Crip. He was a brother, but he was albino, and they call his name was White Boy. And he was the actual runner on the tier. And I told him my neighbor to shut the fuck up in the middle of the night. So we started woofing at each other, which you don't supposed to do in prison. I was 19, I believe, at the time, maybe just turned 20. But my cellie, he was a few years older than me. He told me you can't do that. So I told dude next door, when the doors open, let that be the bell. So when the doors open for chow, I came out the cell. He slammed his door shut. Now in DVI, the doors open by air. And when they open, they release the air and you could shut them yourself. So when Celly went out for chow, he slammed the door on me and flipped me off. So I started woofing at him through the cell window, which is a big no-no in prison. CO Austin was in back of me, and he heard me tell the dude when he comes out, I'm going to throw him off the tier. CO Austin knew I wasn't talking to him. He knew I was talking to this cat in the cell. And ultimately, he grabbed me by my shoulder and took me to the classroom. Well, actually, he let me go to chow. I came out to chow hall. They threw me in this classroom. Him and another CO, a white dude, he wore cowboy boots. He was there for years, too. I ended up knowing him. Blasting Jim, maybe, or something like that. I forgot his name. But anyway, they put me in this classroom and they attacked me. They had my hands on the wall and they attacked me from behind. When I turned around, I elbowed Austin in the nose. He was a short black dude named Austin from Stockton. Now, when I did that, he hit me with his baton right here in the corner of my eye, and I started bleeding. So when they finally got me down and handcuffed me, they took me to the sergeant's office. Sergeant asked me what happened. I didn't make no statement. Austin said I attacked him. Of course, they took me to the hole for assault, for making his nose bleed with my elbow. When I get to the hole, they take me down to the very end cell in K-Wing on the first tier. I want to say it was on the east side, first tier, the very last cell. When they throw me in the cell handcuffed, there's another CO waiting for me in the cell, big old light-skinned brother named Casey. If anyone has been to DVI in the 90s or 2000s, they know who Casey is. He's a light-skinned dude. He looks like Suge Knight, light-skinned with a beard, bald head, and he's humongous. He used to play for the Raiders. And I don't know what happened with his career in the NFL, but he ended up being a CO there. He kneed me in my stomach, stomped me a couple times, left me in the cell handcuffed. So I'm on the ground, can't breathe. They locked the door. I'm still handcuffed. About, 3-4 minutes later, caught my breath. My neighbor yelled over there. He was like, "Hey, homie, where you from?" And I told him Sacramento. He's like, "Man, I'm from Oakland. I'm from the Bay." Come to find out, my neighbor was the notorious Felix Mitchell's son. His name was Felix Mitchell also. So After a while, he told me to get up off the ground. I told him I came from YA, what had happened. And he told me, we're in the hole now, and there's only a few brothers on this range. I'm like, what do you mean on this range? He said there's a lot of North Indians on this range. He said, and a couple white boys, but there's only a few cells of brothers. He said, we're going to board up tonight. I'm like, board up? He's like, yeah, we're going to cover the front of our cells and make them cell extractors. Now, mind you, I just been beat up by 2 cops, been kneed in the stomach by a 3rd cop, and I'm tore up. Never wasn't pepper sprayed at this time. So I like, how do we do that? So he walked me through it. DVI, K-Wing, they're not regular cells like these newer prisons with a door and a wall with a little window on your door. It's mostly mesh screen with a slide door with mesh on it with a tray slot in it. So when he told me to board up, I'm like, what do you mean board up? And he told me I had to get my sheet and tie it from the locker over to the side of the towel rack to cover up the cell so they can't see in the cell. And if they demand me to take it down, deny it, don't say anything, and they're going to go line up. Cops going to line up with a shield and come in and get you out. And that was what the cell extraction was. So there was 4 cells on this range of blacks that was planning on boarding up. So we didn't end up doing it that night. I guess my neighbor told me that the cops that they wanted to get back at wasn't working that evening. So we waited till the next morning after chow. Of course, I got my sheet, did what he told me to do. He slid me a little saran wrap with shampoo in it, He told me to put it on the front of my cell when they walk in with water so they'll slip and fall. But he also told me, he sent me over an extra sheet, told me to rip it up in strips and tie it from my locker to this side. So now he told me to make a spider web from one side of the cell to the other. So when the cops ran up in the cell and they breached the sheet, they'll run into this damn spider web and they'll slip and fall. So I was like, damn, I'm going to get another assault on cops. So that's what happened. So the next day came after chow. We actually kept our trays in the cell. We wouldn't kick our trays out. So kill shot. Yeah, you're right. It's deadly. It's very deadly. I'm gonna get to you guys' comments after I finish these stories. So yeah, that's what happened. We kept our trays in the cell, and of course they had to get our trays out, so they came, and I heard them 4 or 5 cells down. Come out the cell, Brooks, come out the cell. They told the neighbors down they wouldn't come out, so I heard the commotion, boom, 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 and then I heard the 2 guys in the cell yelling. These guys was getting their ass whipped, right? So damn, when they got to my next door neighbor, Felix Mitchell, he was a youngster. I found out he was young back then. He was, I think I was 19 or 20. He was like maybe 21. He was 1 or 2 years older than me. And I heard him get cell extracted when they got to me. I heard him yelling too. I'm like, shit. So I was pretty nervous, man. My first cell extraction, I was quite nervous. So they came in with the shell. Mind you, I still had bruises on my right side. I had 2 stitches in my eye over here from the baton, and I was pretty bruised up. So they didn't get too much resistance out of me, the first cell extraction, but I did learn by it. They got a shield. The first guy comes. So there's 5 COs, 6 COs total. One of them have a video camera and they're videotaping everything. The first CO that breaches the door, he comes in with a shield, a full mask, full body armor, the vest and everything with boots on, and they come running. They crack the door, they come running in, and once they breach that cell, they hit that web and they slip and they fall. The first 2 fall. The other ones, they go up under the web, they start cutting it down, and they put you on the ground, and this shield is like a half moon. It's like a C. And what they do is when they get you on the ground, they suffocate you with this shield, and they hold it over your body. If you're on your face, they're holding it over your body, and they're putting all their weight on you, and then they pull your legs up behind you to hog tie you, and they they kneel down on your legs. So it's very uncomfortable. It feels like your knees are about to be blown out. It's fucked up. So after they did that, they of course took me to a little phone booth. Sergeant came and talked to me, asked me why I did it. No statement, no nothing. So after a few hours, they pepper spray the shit out of you. They this time they didn't put the cannon in my cell to gas me out. What they did was they came in and pepper sprayed me. Now, that was my first experience being cell extracted. That was in 1990, September of 1990. Maybe September. I'm not sure about the month. Now, my second cell extraction was in Solano State Prison. And this was my worst. This is the worst experience I ever had in a prison cell. I've had prison fights. I got in a fight with a CO in a prison cell in Washington. But this right here, I was in the hole because they raided my cell early in the morning. And someone told them I was selling drugs. So they took me to the shower. When they went to strip me out, I had a pocket made my boxers and I started swallowing weed. I had bundles of weed. So they took me to potty watch. The whole time I was on potty watch, 14 days. I beat them on potty watch. And I told you guys earlier how I beat them on potty watch by shitting on myself, by taking my jumpsuit bottom and squishing all the balloons in the bottom of it. And then they put it in a hazmat bag. That's how I beat them on potty watch. But after I was on potty watch, after they released me on potty watch, they're supposed to return you back to your to the GP yard. That didn't happen. I had a cousin, not going to say his name or his wife's name, and his wife worked there. And when she found out I was on potty watch, she put in an over-familiarity to have me transferred out of there. And that's what happened. I stayed in that hole in Solano for 26 months, fighting assault on a cop that when let me back up. So when I started swallowing the balloons while I was in the shower, I had this big old cop named Gaines, building 2 on A yard, tackled me in the shower, and he hurt his ankle. So they gave me assault on a correctional officer. So I was in the whole fighting that, and I was in the whole fighting over familiarity, trying not to get transferred out of there, right? So they kept me there for 26 months. In this 26 months, these cops didn't like me in this hole. However, I had a guy, another CO that I played baseball with for Parkway Little League. I'm going to go ahead and say his name. His name was CO Bebe, B-E-B-E. He was from Valley High. He's a big old tall white boy. And we knew each other. I was the pitcher on the team. He was my shortstop. No, he's my third baseman. So we knew each other. Like if you're from Northern California and you go to prison up here, you're likely, if you're in Northern California prison, you're probably going to see a CO or a counselor or a free staff that you knew. And in Solano, I knew 3. Folsom, I knew more than that. So this guy, BB, sold me a cell phone for some stamps. He ain't working there no more, so I'm not putting him on blast. He's out of there. He retired. He brought me a cell phone, a flip phone, for I think 80 books of stamps. And that back then was a lot of money. I think books of stamps was $8.80 or something like that. I gave him 80 books of stamps for a cell phone. He didn't give me no charger, but he would come and take my battery when he got to work and charge it for me almost every night. So what happened was the COs didn't like me, so they used to throw, when I used to order canteen, they used to take some of it out and just throw it in my cell. They didn't count my shit out. They just throw it in my cell. My trays, they used to throw through my slot on the ground. So I was losing a lot of weight in there. I wasn't eating right. You could only go to the store in Solano. This was 2011, my second cell extraction. It was summertime, May or June of 2011. I stayed in the hole all 2011, all 2012. Solano, I was in a 10 building on B yard, 8, 7, 8, 9, 10 building, I believe. 9 or 10 buildings. Wait, 5, 6, 7. I was in 9 building, I believe. Yeah, I was in 9 building in the whole in Solano in 2011 and 2012. So in order for them, so let me tell you something. when you do a cell extraction, your goal is to bring the attention without telling on nobody, to let the lieutenant know that there's a problem while you're being cell extracted. So in my case, and a few other brothers in there, they was getting their food just thrown in their cells, so we wasn't eating right. So we couldn't outright put in inmate requests saying we ain't getting fed right, because that's telling, right? So we decided to cell extract 3 cells. It was a Sunday afternoon, and I had a visit Saturday. And I told my visitors, I believe my mom and my brother came up there Saturday. I told them don't come back Sunday because I probably wasn't going to get a visit Sunday. So Sunday, we decided to cell extract while these cops that fucked with us was working. Now, Solano's a newer type prison, and they got a tower, and they got all these cops running around in the day room, taking people to medical all day, taking people to yard, bringing them back from medical, bringing them back from yard. So the cop that was really fucking with me, he was a Mexican cop, and he used to be on Goon Squad. He used to be a Goon Squad, but I don't know if he got demoted or whatnot. But his brother worked there also. They both, one worked in the hole, one worked on 2 yard, B yard. So this guy had it in for me. Like I said, he wasn't feeding me right, fucking with my mail, waking me up when I was asleep. All kind of would skip my yard, wouldn't let me go to yard most days. He was just fucking with me. He didn't like me at all. So what I did, Solano's, like I said, was a newer type prison. So they had a door. And the door had a long window on it. And up above that door to the right, there was a vent. I had a chrono to keep my personal shoes, because I told him I had a plantar fasciitis, and I also had a chrono for my back that says I could have 2 mattresses. So I had 2, and I was in the cell by myself. I didn't have a cellie at this time. So what we decided to do is board up. And when you board up, what you do is you either put cardboard, like cookie boxes over your windows, or put toilet paper over your windows for them not to be able to see in. If they can't see in for, I think 3 hours at a time when you're in the hole, they got to come in and unboard you so they can see you, so they can count you, right? So if you don't do that, they do what I just told you earlier. They cell extract you. The difference between DVI, K-Wing, and Solano Hole is these cops in Solano, they was all gung-ho. They wanted to hurt you. And that's what they did. So I boarded up, maybe like 3.5 hours. Sergeant came to the door, kept trying to talk me to unboard. I wouldn't unboard. They went and got their crew. You hear them marching in their boots to your cell. They knock on the top of your thing, the metal thing. Jefferson, you got one more chance to unboard. If not, and then they click your door open and they run in. Well, my experience from DVI was I didn't really get that hurt. I knew what to do. I knew what to put the shampoo on the floor. I knew to wet it, make it real slippery. I knew to make the spider web. And I knew that they had a tray slot that you put your mattress up against, because they come with this mechanism. It's like a battering ram. And when they open your tray slot, the majority of people that cell extract, they put their mattress up, so they knock your mattress down. Then they put this like stem in there, a water hose stem. Excuse me, drop my phone. And they spray these chemicals in there, so they don't have to come in there and fight with you. And then what they do is they put another hose through your vent, and they spray that pepper spray through there, so they try to gas you out. In order to eliminate being gassed out, what we do is we take a t-shirt and we soak it wet, and we tie it over our face like a mask, so we can breathe through the wet t-shirt, and it kind of tones down the gas and the pepper spray from going in your lungs. Because once it gets in your face and in your lungs, you can't breathe at all. It takes all the wind out of you. So they gassed me. They gassed me for like 7 minutes. I didn't unboard. I didn't come on the other side of the web. So ultimately they come running in, and they was prepared, because actually once they opened the door, they could see the web made with all the sheets torn up that I made. So they don't run into it. What they do is they got a box cutter and they started cutting it down. I was at the back of the cell waiting for them in a fighting stance, and I didn't get one punch. They came in with that shield and pinned me to the wall, pushed my head down through the top of the shield. I slipped. We all fell. 2 of us fell down, and they commenced to put boots to me, man. And they beat my ass. My whole face looked like the Elephant Man. They handcuffed me and hog-tied me and carried me out of there, butt naked, with my hands handcuffed, with my feet handcuffed, and my feet with a belt tied to my hands. So they carried me out like a suitcase and dropped me in the shower. Shower was cold as hell. They had the water running. Pepper spray was all over me. And I'm going to tell you something. When you're on the ground and you got pepper spray and it goes down to your nuts, and you got water running for it to, you can't get up, it's the worst burning shit. It feels like fire on your nuts. And they left me in that like that for about an hour and a half with the water running. But the water induces it. It enhances the pepper spray, because you got the OC chemicals on you and the pepper spray, and it's running down your nuts. And I'm laying down butt naked, so it got me on fire. They left me in that shower for like an hour and a half like that. Finally, the lieutenant, captain, sergeant come, Goose Squad come. They handcuffed me. They let me stand up, take a shower, come back about 15 minutes later, and they tell me that I'm moving. They had 2 buildings that were holes over there. I think it was 9 and 10 building, or 10 and 11. They was taking me to another building because they said that I was an influence in that building. I had them other guys board up. So that was my second cell extraction. And it was something that I'll probably remember forever. My third one was there again at Solano, probably like 8-9 months later. You get yard every other day at Solano. And I had tobacco in there. BB was bringing me, and my phone. And yard time, my lighter stopped working, and it was his day off. So I went to the yard with a staple and a little piece of toilet paper so I could get a light and try to bring a wick back in. Impossible. I thought I could do it, but I didn't. So when I get to the yard, the only electricity on the yard is you're in these dog cages on the yard when you're in the hole. And of course, I was single cell staff, so I was in the cell in the dog cage by myself. What happened was, the only way you're going to get a light is with electricity. There's no electricity in your cell in Solano. So you got to get the hair clippers, and they bring you these hair clippers on this rolling little trolley thing. And the hair clippers are plugged in this little thing on this trolley thing. You got to get your staple with the toilet paper and make a wick and make a spark off that to make a wick. And that's what I did, so I could smoke out on the yard. And they caught me doing that. So when they caught me doing that, they tossed my cell up. When they tossed my cell up, I had my cell phone hooped. You guys know what that is. It's a little, I think it was a Samsung flip phone, and I had it hooped. However, I had my battery in my mattress. My extra battery, I had 2 batteries. My extra battery was in my mattress. So when they caught me smoking on the yard, the concrete yard, they tossed my cell up, and of course they found the battery. They take your mattress out and they wand it for anything metal, looking for knives, and they found my battery. So once they find my battery, they don't find my phone. What they do, they search me, don't find the phone on me. So now I'm back on potty watch. They put me on potty watch because they knew I had a phone inside of me. So, of course, my first shit, it came out. Now I'm hot. They want to know how the hell I got this phone in this hole. BB played on my baseball team. I'm not telling on BB. I'm not telling on nobody. So now they're really fucking with my food, my mail, everything, because I won't tell them where I got the phone. So we cell extract again. This time is a little bit different. They had a Williams, a female black lady that was the coolest CO that you could ever meet. And I don't call no COs cool, but this lady was an older lady, probably in her 50s, and they called her Mama Williams. And she came to try to talk me down. I'm like, Williams, I have my cell boarded up. I'm like, Williams, I'm not going to unboard. She's like, well, I'm going to be on the front line. And it was fucked up because she was the person with the shield that came in. And my intentions were, well, when you get cell extracted, you're supposed to take off on the police as soon as they come in your cell because they're going to beat your ass regardless. So you try to get 2 or 3 punches in. And the problem with Williams was she was cool as fuck and she was an older black lady. So I couldn't bring myself to hit a woman or hit the CO. So I was quite cooperative after they came in, cell extracted me, took me to the shower, pepper sprayed me, did the whole shit again. And that was my last cell extraction. However, I seen this white boy from Coco County. I'm not going to say his name, but he was from Coco County. And he was pumped up by his homeboys from Coco County to cell extract. And not only could I see them cell extract him from my cell, I was in cell bottom tier, C side, C bay, the second cell, and he was in B side, the second cell. So I could see straight in his cell. They beat this dude up so bad. He was yelling, and then the yelling stopped. He went in cardiac arrest. And they brought the ambulance to take him up out of there to UC or whatever hospital they took him to. But that was something that after I seen that last cell extraction, I was fortunate enough to be able to walk afterwards after seeing this white boy get cell extracted like that. They beat you couldn't even recognize them. So I just want to let you guys know the dangerous things you have to go through, not only with other convicts in prison, but with COs. When you get on the bad side of a CO, all of them turn against you. And when all of them are against you, it's hard for you to make money. It's hard for you to function. It's hard for you to program. And you gotta know that before you do it. And it's very dangerous. People die in prison every day. And I know you guys don't see it on the news all the time. They don't publish it, but there's more people dying in California prison system. And you might see suicide, California prison system. The majority, I'm not saying all, but the majority of the news clippings that you see that people hung themselves or OD'd on pills is not true. COs kill you in prison. Staff kill you in prison. And they'll cover that shit up and saying you committed suicide. Numerous of times I've seen it. And you can't tell on them people, man. But you just gotta sit there and take that shit all in and know your limits. So to all you youngsters out there that think you go into prison, there's someone always better than you in prison. You could be the toughest, best fighter, best martial artist in prison, but when you got 6 or 7 COs with batons and pepper spray and bullets up in that gunner, up in that tower, you can't fight it. You're gonna lose every time. You can assault a cop now and then and think you're bad and get away with it, but they're gonna come and beat your ass or cripple you or kill you. And that's the facts about California prison system. In God's Hand 707, what's up, man? If you haven't already subscribed to my channel, go ahead and subscribe. Hit that like button and please make a comment. But definitely hit that like button. If you haven't already hit that notification button, hit that notification button to be notified of my next video. I was telling my viewers earlier, yesterday rather, I took a couple months off of YouTube. And the reason why is because I've had a lot of life changes in the last couple months, good and bad. But so I decided to take a couple months off of YouTube, and I'm starting my channel back up. You know about Willis Ring, Corey? Willis Ring? Willis I'm not talking about Willis. I'm talking about K-Wing, man. Willis Wing is in Vacaville. Is that what you're talking about, Willis? Oh, what am I talking about, Willis? I'm talking about cell extractions, Corey. Being cell extracted, man. That was my topic today. You know, I'm just barely getting back into YouTube, man. I took a couple months off for personal family reasons, man. Yeah, I had to reread your comment, Corey. But yeah, I was talking about cell extractions, man, and the dangerousness of them. These youngsters, I see these youngsters out here killing each other every day, man. And I hate to see them go to prison at a young age. And I don't want them to go through what I went through or any of us went through in prison, because it's not a cakewalk, especially if you go to a level 4 180 yard, which I spent a lot of years on a 180 yard, man. It took me a lot of years to come down to a level 3. Matter of fact, it took me 7.5 years to come down to a 270. I was on a 180 for a long time, but sometimes a 180 is a little bit better. You got a lot of wild animals on 180. I call them animals because that's what we are when we're in prison. We're young hyenas. And yeah, you ain't lying, Corey. Prison does suck in many ways, man. But I made a lot of money in prison. I'm not gonna sit here and say everything was bad. You never been to prison in California, Corey? Yeah, level 4 in California is quite dangerous, man. You gotta know your surroundings, and you gotta know your geographic lines, because everything in on a 180 yard, everybody has their own area. Everyone has their own handball court, basketball court, tables they sit on. And if you accidentally walk through someone's area, you're not going to be warned on a 180. It's going to be talk later, action now. And you got to know your surroundings, man. He said, hell no. Nah. Hey, up high. Did you ever meet any Belizeans in prison? Yeah, I had a Belizean cellie from Schoolyard Crip from LA as a cellie, and I can't never think of his name, but this cat could walk on his hands like we could walk on our feet, man. He was from Schoolyard Crip, and I can't think of his name. He was in the hole with me in Solano for like 8 months. He was my cellie. He was Belizean, and he was from Schoolyard Crip. So that's my spiel. I've been on here 48 minutes. If you guys haven't already hit that like button, please. Hit that notification button. And if you haven't subscribed, hit that subscribe button. I'm probably going to get another video. I don't know about tomorrow, but definitely Sunday or Monday, I'll be having another video. I'm going to have Teardrop on here from 29th Street. He got a life sentence without the possibility of parole. He's from my neighborhood, and he's in California prison right now. And probably next week, I'm going to have Big G-Man on here from 29th Street. My partner that I grew up with, it really started my neighborhood. He was one of the first people out here that put 29th Street on. He got a life sentence also, and I'll let him talk. However, it's going to be off the prison wall phone, so you guys aren't going to be able to see him. You'll be able to hear his story. I ask him a lot of questions about the neighborhood. If you guys want to make any comments and ask him any questions, you can. I'll have his Cash App up. If you guys want to Cash App him, or you can Cash App me and he'll get it. Yeah, Corey, I've been doing cool, man. Just been a lot of mishaps, man. I took a major financial loss a couple weeks ago, man. I had a business deal on the East Coast, and I don't know what happened with it. I still don't know what happened with it. But other than that, I've been cool, staying sucker free, trying to maintain my composure out here and get my business, my finances back where they should be. I took a major loss recently. I think I took a loss. I don't even know yet. I just haven't talked to these people. But yeah, hope you guys stay blessed, stay prayed up, and definitely tell the people you love them sooner rather than later. You don't know if we're going to wake up tomorrow morning. Tell the people you love them. Stay blessed. And I'll see you guys probably in a couple days. See you guys later, man.